Let's simplify how you can use witches by going over 5 variations that you can use for 3 stars at Town Hall 12. What's going on, my friends? My name's Corrupt. The easiest troop at Town Hall 12 for 3 stars has to be the Witch. But have you ever tried it with the use of Ice Golems? This is one of the very unique variations you're going to see in this video. So make sure you keep watching through, and also make sure to subscribe and ring the bell if you enjoy what I do here on the channel. Now, in order to start this off, you always want to look at the multi-target Infernos, Eagle, and Town Hall. You want to get rid of 2 of them, 2 multi-Infernos, in order to start being able to mainly focus in on the Town Hall, 3rd Inferno, and Eagle Artillery. Those things are going to help you really understand what you need to do. In this case, you can actually use 1 Earthquake spell to get both Infernos, so something to be very mindful of. Now, in this case, we're using the Ice Golems. Ice Golems cost half the housing space of a Golem, but they don't have nearly as much health, and they will die quicker than a regular Golem. But to make up for it, they do have that freeze upon death. But you can always go ahead and use the lightning spells after you start to send everything in. You're going to be able to use the 4 Earthquake spells on each Inferno, and then you're going to use that 1 Earthquake spell to pretty much get rid of both of the Infernos. So while everything is moving themselves through the base on the left, in the middle, and on the right, you are able to have that long launcher moving through. You may want to use the Grand Warden ability as you start to move into the base, and you can also use Sneaky Goblins if the Town Hall is in the center. Now, normally what I would always recommend is if the Town Hall is centralized like this, and there's also a bunch of other gold and elixir storages, you may want to use Sneaky Goblins, especially if you can get close enough to that Town Hall. So that's why Sneaky Goblins were chosen, because this is a ring base and everything was going to go around the ring anyways, around that Town Hall. So you want to be very mindful of that. Overall, at this point, even though he's lost a lot of witches on both the left and the right side, still having the king move through, he still has witches to clear through the rest of the base. The witches in the middle of the base are going to survive longer because they have support from the heroes. Overall, you really want to be able to make sure that you are able to get the 3-star, and that is really by using a very simple method. And the Ice Golems can play a good role due to the freeze, but they may not provide nearly as much support as the Golems do. But don't worry, there's a lot of other variations, and there's actually a better way that you can use 6 Ice Golems that you'll see coming up. Another variation is the Super Giants with the Witches. The Super Giants have a lot of HP for their housing space, so if you want to bring more tanks, the Super Giants have got you covered, even though they can still be sprung. So keep that in mind. But the same basic rules apply, mainly consisting of the Eagle, 3rd Inferno, and Town Hall. If you notice, they're in mostly a line, so you're going to be using your ZapQuake on 2 adjacent Inferno towers. That's it. That's how you want to look at it. That's how you make it simple for yourself. So to start off, you're going to see the use of the ZapQuake. Try to get rid of other structures around it that aren't storages. So if unfortunately you can't reach anything else, then maybe that's the only building that you go for like in this case. Being able to still though weaken up some of those structures can really help. So at that point, you want to be able to start creating the funnels using Super Giants and Witches on each side, so you can send the rest of them through the base with the use of the log launcher. And that's something that you're seeing a lot commonly through this one. The log launcher is the best siege machine for Witches, hands down. There's no other reason to why you shouldn't be using this. If you don't have access to using it, I would always highly recommend the Wall Wrecker, though you're going to really need a lot of hero support for it, since it needs that Grand Warden ability. But as you can see from here, even though a lot of the troops are kind of missing the Eagle Artillery, you've got some Witches to take care of that with no problem, while you have everything else working themselves through and being able to start moving in for the Town Hall. Of course, dealing with the enemy CC can be a pain, but you can just drop a poison spell and deal with that with no problem. Of course, you do need to be very careful about the Town Hall. So sometimes you may want to use a free spell, but sometimes that can't be enough. So you do have the Barbarian King if he does start to work his way in. Even if he doesn't, you still have the Witches and the Grand Warden to start working your way through to take down the Town Hall with no problem whatsoever. Overall, at this stage, you've got a lot of witches that could be in the core of the base. Even though he did lose a large amount of his witches and also lost his archer queen, you can still get through this with no problem. It just really comes down to being able to have enough momentum through the base. So if you got some balloons as well, that could be used really as a way to clutch the rest of the attack. So in this case, this attack almost did fail, and that's mostly because a lot of those witches either went on the outside or pretty much just didn't stay with either the log launcher or the queen just couldn't stay up. And that's sometimes out of your control. But overall, it is still a very simple way that you can use an army like this to get easy triples, even if that means that they could be close to getting a time fail or even a fail. Now, if you're seeing a lot of single Infernos and you're trying to choose a witch attack to work against it that doesn't use the ZapQuake, well, you can always use 12 Earthquake spells, 15 witches, and 6 ice golems. That is a crazy combination, but it works. Pretty much, you're going to be using one group of Earthquake at the beginning to open up a large area, one in the core, and also one towards the back end part. All you're doing is spamming all through the middle. This is literally pure spam. That's pretty much it. Overall, what you want to do is you do want to create the funnel on 2 different sides when you start the attack off. But you're going to start with the use of that first quad Quake. 4 Earthquake spells are enough to break down any level of wall. So using that first one at the beginning, using another one in the core, and using another one to open up this back end area of the base. Pretty much, you've opened the entire base for your entire attack. So you want to start by using the Barbarian King if there's an enemy hero, Ice Golem and Witches, Ice Golem and Witches on the other side, so you can send everything else into the core of the base. That's how simple it is. And you're going to be using the log launcher. Normally, people are always wondering why use the log launcher. Well, it gets damage on other defensive structures, making it so much easier. While you're dealing with the enemy CC, as an example in Electro Dragon, you can freeze it up thanks to the Ice Golem, and you have that poison to deal a lot of good damage, while your queen can go ahead and help take care of it. Overall, you want to make sure that you're getting over to that Town Hall as quickly as you can, and having the log launcher to deal damage on it from a distance, you can actually get rid of it from a larger distance, and you could get rid of it without having any of your troops within range of the BuMm. Overall, you want to be able to pretty much control everything, even though control really isn't anything about this army. You just want to be able to spam everything through. Sometimes you may need to use your queen ability, and to get through that, all you really need to do is just use that queen ability, especially if you're going up against a single Inferno. Now, of course, if you're going up against multis, the ZapQuake is going to be way better. But if you want to try something fun that is way different and way more Dark Elixir heavy, then using the use of 12 Earthquake spells is a great choice. And you could actually overwhelm the rest of the base quite easily by just using this simple method. So very similar to the first army that we showed, but instead of using the ZapQuake, using just a mass amount of Earthquake spells. Now, if you don't like any of the other variations I've showed in this video, actually being able to use these super wizards and witches is a way better combination, since the super wizards are able to soften up structures for your heroes, log launcher, and your witches. This can provide a lot of really good support. Usually though, I would only recommend it on bases where you've got some good chain value, whether that be on the outside or inside of the base. Now, on these bases in particular, these sort of infernal compartments have very little to nothing really inside them, so you can't really get rid of another defense, and you can actually take advantage of this as an attacker. Since they have very little in there, you could absolutely take advantage of them because there's absolutely nothing to go into the base for. So you can actually have a large amount of your army kind of go all the way around the base while having your heroes go through the middle to end on that town hall. It's very risky, and I wouldn't recommend doing this during the clan war leagues, but it does work well in a sort of regular war attack. So if you have 2 attacks, you can risk that, because even if it doesn't go well, you can allow your clanmate to fix it. And being able to have the super wizards go into the base, so some may go in, some may go out, but you've got the golems to provide a lot of tankage. Golem placement is always important, and you have 3 of them going through the base, 2 on different sides and 1 going through the middle. As you have the heroes, maybe Yetis moving through, your kings can provide enough support and enough tankage as you start to continue to move through. And dealing with an enemy E-Drag CC is really, really easy, because all you have to do is just drop a poison on it and it can do absolutely nothing. So it is a really weak CC and can easily be dealt with. Overall, as you can tell from here, we still have witches on the left and on the right side, or the left and the right sides. Pretty much you've got the queen to still work her way through the core, and he didn't use the Grand Warden ability. That's one thing, and that is the reason why the log launcher wasn't able to get through. I would always recommend the Grand Warden ability through with the log launcher, not with your witches that might not even be able to get through. So this is definitely something to be very careful of. So this was almost a fail right here at the end. Could have been a 90-ish% fail, all because of that specific thing. So unfortunately, he just had 1 or 2 witches remaining, and that was it. So you do want to be really, really careful with a lot of different things, especially with an attack like this where you can easily fail. Now, if you still like using the Yeti Smash, you may want to add some witches into that to create a Yeti Bow Witch. This could work incredibly well for you, and it could work really well versus single Infernos. Pretty much, you're going to start off this attack with the use of a Queen Walk, or you can actually start this off with the use of the Earthquake spells that you are bringing here. But you can start off with a Queen Walk. You're going to create the funnel to make it a little bit easier for you to start moving yourself across and into the base. Now keep in mind, this is a Town Hall 13 with 2 scatter shots. They may be at level 1, but you have to deal with 2 scatter shots, and this person only has level 2 Yetis and level 4 bowlers. So again, being able to deal with something like this, even if it's not 100% maxed, is something that you do want to start dealing with. Of course, you're not going to always find max bases in war or even while farming or trophy pushing. So being able to start working your way through, creating the funnel and cutting it off so your witches and your Yetis and bowlers start to move into the base is really important. You've got the log launcher, and you can easily deal with the enemy CC like the Electro Dragon. It's a really weak CC. Being able to use the Grand Warden ability to push your way into the core of the base, providing a lot of really good support for your entire attack. Now, of course, if you're dealing with the scatter shots, it's really important that you use the free spells over them so you're able to get through. The log launcher, though, can actually take down the town hall really quickly, as long as you have support, of course, as you're able to work yourself across. Overall, at this stage, you'll still maybe have the queen unless she died early on, and you will still have a lot of support via the Yetis moving through. Having the witches to provide a little bit more support can really help your attack a lot more, and you can easily start moving in through to get triples. Of course, at this stage, you've lost a lot of your army, but you've gone through a large amount of the base. Pretty much the rest of it is cleanup, so that's why bringing a minion can always be a great thing. But overall, you've seen a lot of witch attacks. A lot of attacks that are using witches. Some use a ZapQuake, some are using the Earthquake spells. So something to keep in mind is you may want to try out each of these armies individually and see what you prefer better. But overall, I would always recommend trying out different armies and just having fun with the game so you're not getting burnt out so quickly. But being able to start using different armies like this one can allow you to get some safe 3 stars each time. What do you think about all of these witch variations? Which one's your favorite? Let me know down in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe and ring the bell if you enjoy what I do here on the channel, and make sure to go ahead and use code CORRUPT in the Clash of Clans shop or any Supercell game, and I'll catch you in the next video. Corrupt, signing out.